Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and probably maybe 3-4 weeks ago, I was listening in the background to something on YouTube while talking to a buddy, and it happened to be Elon Musk. And for those that are not aware of my feelings on Elon Musk, in large part, I believe him to be a front man for the military-industrial complex and a transhumanist agenda, ultimately. SpaceX has shown this. I'm going to show you this. Neuralink, Starlink, all of it is really DARPA technology that has been worked on for decades upon decades upon decades, and it's now being rolled out on a consumer and then outward military level. We'll briefly go into that. But what I found striking about this clip in particular, and if anybody can find me the speech unedited, I would love to see it. Basically, I looked for it. When I heard this, there's some music in the background. Who knows? We're on YouTube right now. Maybe it's going to get pulled for a copyright. But I think it's extremely important because it's Elon Musk actually telling the truth about how there is no overpopulation and that it's completely inverted. And we're going to tie this in with not only the myth of overpopulation, but our very own media military industrial complex going along with that myth and mobilizing it against the populace on purpose. Okay, so this is actually a pretty big clip. And then what's even more striking about this clip was posted in May of this year. And we're only going to play the audio on it because the video is like a mix of just like background stuff. He talks about mRNA technology and how basically that's a computer program. Just like we told you that mRNA technology is not new to this whole new boop. That it is 20-plus year old DARPA tech. All right? Defense Department tech. So thumbs the video up, subscribe and share. Remember, we're fully demonetized here on YouTube. Okay? And who knows, we might get kicked off. We still got 2 strikes. We're riding it by the skin of our nuts. All the documentary films, Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are free right here, right now. But make sure that you're rock finning. Probably 20 or so videos. Plus, over the 2-week period, we were kicked off, exclusive to Rockfin. Uncensored yesterday, where we got to read the entire Disinformation Dozen document. That we couldn't do the whole thing, okay? Because it wasn't just about censorship. It's about making everybody that questions any narrative of the state hate speech. And the White House is endorsing this. And as you went through it, you realized, oh my God, this isn't just about the shots. No. But again, make that free Rockfin account. Make sure to follow me there. That's where we're completely and totally uncensored. If you have a premium account and you get a year-long one for $99.99 now, and you endorse me, that not only helps the program, but you get all the premium stuff there. I do want to thank Odyssey for backing me up. And as always, the GoFundMe link is down below. Now, before we get started, just recently, this was the beginning of June, it was announced that they could do rocket cargo delivery anywhere with, guess what? SpaceX and the U.S. Air Force. Okay, do you get it? That's what this is. All right. Just like with Starlink, yay, great, it's rural internet. You know what else it is? It's blackjack. DARPA launching their own military version alongside. Now, the guy that I'm going to feature a little bit, other than Elon Musk, we're not going to feature this part of the clip, but we're going to show you how he talks and mobilizes against population control in the same sentence, saying that we could use the Sahara Desert, just a small piece of it right now, to sustain the entire populace. Feed everybody, clothe everybody, you bet. Just there. Just by growing halophytes there, okay? And brain-computer interfaces, this is old hat. This is a RAND corporation document that's relatively new. But Bushnell, who we're going to get into, head of the chief scientist over at NASA Research for the last 20 plus years, way longer than that. He talks about 10,000 people in 2011 having brain chips in them. 10,000 people a decade ago. Okay? I want to get that across. It might even be in 2010. All right? So we're going to play this Musker-Do clip. And for anybody that wants to watch the whole thing, there it is. Elon Musk's controversial speech that exposed the biggest deceptions of the world. So again, we're going to just hit this and then play the audio in the background.
I'm worried about the birth rate, which you alluded to earlier. The contrary to, like, most people think we have like too many people on the planet, but actually this is an outdated view. This is assuming that AI is fine, assuming that there's a benevolent future with AI. I think that the biggest problem the world will face in 20 years is population collapse. I want to emphasize this. The biggest issue in 20 years will be population collapse.
Now, we've actually discussed this before, and people like Salk's son from the Salk Institute, we did a whole video on him talking about not a plateauing, but an implosion, right? And they're always talking about this implosion of the populace. So right here, he's letting you know that the population is probably going to collapse within the next 20 years, okay? But he's not going to say because it's overpopulation and lack of resources. Can't believe we don't even have 50 thumbs up over at YouTube. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Not explosion, collapse. It's very easy to see what the world will look like in 20 years because humans have a 20-year boot sequence. So like you say, okay, well, who was born last year? Okay, now you know what the world looked like in 20 years. It's that easy. Accelerating collapse. And then the common rebuttal is like, well, what about immigration? Like, from where? But Mars needs people. Mars needs people. There's 0 people there right now. So right now it's just a machine planet. There's only some robots there. I think.
Let's just stop there. Now, another interesting thing about Bushnell, and by the way, he's the one that authored the document we go to, Future Strategic Warfare, circa 2025. Capabilities of the Enemy After Next. We are the enemy after next. This is a 2001 document prior to 9/11. War on Terror is over, right? It tells you, welcome to the bots, Borgs, and humans, 25 AD, right? DARPA, CIA, SOCOM, ONI, you name it. It's all there, right? This is the big presentation, all right? And it's by this guy right here. We're going to play this clip. Now, we're also not going to play a clip we've played before where he tells you you're really not going to Mars. What's going to happen is that you'll think you're going to Mars in the virtual world. We'll hook you into something that'll make you believe you're going to Mars. And you have to understand, this one's a little bit bigger, but in the era of humankind, we're in the bio-nano era right now, 2020, weird. Bio-nanotechnology, what do you think mRNA is? What do you think they just injected the human populace with? This document's 20 years old. Then there's the virtual world. So he tells you that you're not really going to Mars. We just had Branson go about 53,000 miles in the air. Or not 53,000. I'm sorry, 53 miles in the air, not 53,000. I'm sorry, that not even close to 53,000. 53 miles in the air. And what is it? The moon is 230 something, 240, maybe 250 out there. 1,000? Not 250 miles, right? So they're already telling you the rocket stuff. That's, we're not going to the moon. We're not going to the Mars with rockets. We're going to trick you into a virtual verse, right? And again, Musk is killing it here.
First of all, I think humans will solve environmental sustainability. In fact, this is a self-fulfilling or unfulfilling prophecy. We must take immediate and dramatic action, and continue the momentum towards environmental sustainability. And China is actually the world leader in this, in fact.
And again, I don't like the China praise. And by the way, Bushnell in this thing where he talks about Malthus 101 too, which is, Malthusian. He also says instituting population control. So again, from the state down, they're going to institute this. And they're going to praise China while doing it. And he says the code word is going to be sustainability. This is 10 plus years ago. In fact, let's just play this little small segment before we get back into Musk praising China, which obviously I'm not for. And again, I'm not pro-Musk. He's just about to, launch truth warfare on this overpopulation idea. And even if there were overpopulation, Bushnell here is going to tell you at this Blue Tech Forum that already 10 years ago, they could take care of and sustain the entire populace, no problem.
You can grow just on a goodly portion of the Sahara sufficient biomass to replace all the fossil carbon fuels, to provide petrochemical feedstock for all the plastics anybody wants, and grow enough food so everybody gets to eat, and return some of the 68 to 70% of the fresh water that's now used for conventional agriculture, as advertised, solves land, water, food, energy, and climate. So this is Malthus 101. These innate ecosystem restrictions and shortfalls will necessarily shift world econometrics from a growth mantra to one of sustainability, with possible population control instigated along the way that changes everything. After the recent economic burp, people want to see the growth business reinstituted. It's not clear that's going to happen. The fact that we live on this very constrained planet has a vote in all of this.
So again, he says in the same breath, Malthus 101, institute population control. We could grow all this stuff just in the desert and provide for everybody, but no, right? And again, there's this idea that human beings are overrunning the populace, and that's why we're playing this Musk clip.
I'm not sure how well it is known outside of China, just how much China is a world leader in environmental sustainability. It's extremely impressive. I mean, I think half of all the electric cars in the world were made in China last year, something like that.
But again, when he talks about electric, that's in his business interests, and it's in his interest to overtake the fossil fuel thing. You notice, again, that clip is from 10 plus years ago. Technology is out there, but they're praising that. There's all sorts of other problems with like lithium batteries and the mining there. And again, the sustainability term is really just a code word for control.
So I don't mean to suggest complacency, but I do think humans can and will solve sustainability.
If you're in an aircraft and you look down, they say if you dropped a cannonball, how often would you hit a person? Basically never. In fact, there's stuff falling in from space all the time. Natural meteorites, old rocket stages, all the time. But nobody worries about it because in fact, all humans on Earth could fit in the city of New York on one floor. Don't even need the upper floors.
Now let me just stop you there. I'm not going to fact check this. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a fact check. But let's just say that's true. Anybody who's just lived in New York State and realizes how small geographically New York City is, to say that you could take the global populace and put it there should let you know how insignificant human beings really are on the planet. Doesn't mean we don't do big things. But what are they demonizing? The life forces of humanity. Carbon. They want markets. They want to lie to you and tell it's overpopulated. They want to drive you into city-like environments. Okay? Do you get it? By the way, only 107 thumbs up over on YouTube. Can we get them up? Can we get them up?
So that's actually the cross-section of humans as seen from Earth is extremely tiny, basically vanishingly small, almost nothing. So we need to watch out about population collapse. Low birth rates, I think, is a big risk. And it's also not exactly top secret. You can go look at the Wikipedia, birth rate. So, and this is definitely the civilization ends with a whimper, not a bang.
Now, what he's going to get into here is again a planned collapse scenario, all the way with him not telling you. Basically saying, when you have a younger populace, right, and they have to take care of the older populace that's there, right, and there's not as many as the younger people to sustain and support them, they're going to, be a burden on society. And then they're going to sell you this. So globalism, the predator class sells you on this idea that there's not enough and it's burdensome. And that's how we've gotten mandates for shots. That's how they'll say, you know what, maybe we should just, euthanize grandma. They've already legalized it. They've got literally euthanasia machines. And you denigrate the idea that people who are older have any worth, especially if they have something like dementia or another debilitation. And then if they could sell you on the idea that we'll just upload their consciousness anyway, right, in that next stage virtual, which he's helping to promote, all the better. All the better.
Because it would be a sad ending, where the average age becomes very high, and really the youth are effectively de facto enslaved to take care of the old people. This is not a good way to end.
I think people are going to have to regard, to some degree, the notion of having kids as almost a social duty, within reason. I mean, just if you can and you're so inclined, you should. Otherwise, civilization will just die, literally.
But again, when he talks more, he actually talks about mRNA could reprogram you to not age. So would it just die literally? You're getting bits and pieces here, is my point. But he is telling you the truth that overpopulation is completely a myth.
The birth rate is strongly correlated to, it's inversely correlated to wealth, inversely correlated to education, and correlated to religion. The more religious you are, more kids you will have. And this is true between countries and within countries.
And this is also true. And why do you think there's such an attack on religion? Why do you think there's such an attack on the general populace? It's because the predator class realizes the more people they have, the harder it is to control, and the less of a grip on society they have. And they're already sociopathic, so what do they care about us anyway?
In the US, the highest birth rate is in Utah. We are going to face, in the mid part of the century, and particularly the latter part of the century, a demographic implosion, the likes of which we haven't seen, including the Black Plague. The math is obvious. When did China ever experience a 50% reduction in its population? Spain, birth rate of 50%. It's as though someone went through and killed half the population, or at least of the future population. There's something better happen to turn this around.
Sustainable energy is important. The faster we transition to sustainable energy.
I want to skip this part. I want to get to the mRNA part right here, right? Here we go.
Particularly around synthetic mRNA. You can basically do anything with synthetic RNA, DNA. It's like a computer program. So, I think with enough, with effort, that's not too crazy. You could probably stop aging, reverse it if you want.
So there you go. He actually talks briefly wherever this is. So if anybody can find this full speech without all that, I'd love to hear it. Now, again, I'm not promoting Musk. I'm just saying what he just said there is real. All right. Anytime, they're selling you on human bad, we need to restrict what you do. The selling on lockdowns for climate change, right? Climate change, carbon credits. It's bad news brown. All right. And I just want to reiterate again that this document by that Bushnell guy, the Malthus 101 guy, told you almost 20 years ago the bio-nano age would begin in 2020, and then Klaus Schwab writes COVID-19, the Great Reset, and says the fourth industrial revolution is going to be built on that shot. The guy that wants your biological, physical, and digital identity as one. Elon Musk selling you on a Neuralink, right? It's all right here. It's all right here. So much more in this document. Man, again, automating industry and agriculture, the IT bio-nano era. And then you look, virtual's robotization of IT bio-nano industry and agriculture, all of it. You know, I talk about the automation nation. I talk about the robots. I talk about why they want you subservient on a UBI, not with a family. A lot of it was right there. So guys, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Remember, we are fully demonetized on YouTube, and we get kicked off on the regular here. You know, we just had a 2-week hiatus. We got 2 strikes. They could take the channel at any time. They actually did take my channel twice. Magically, I got it back both times. Who knows? Maybe they won't like the way that I'm talking about Mr. Musk here. But again, there's a big break here. That's why you want to make that free Rockfin account right now. Look at all these videos. And then the uncensored versions of my interview with Derek Bros, the Generation YT interview is an exclusive over there right now. So many others, all these right here. The FBI wanting you to snitch on extremism, Immuniban, Leanna Wen. We go into McGregor. Yeah, Danny Trejo, Charles Manson, and MK Ultra. Why haven't you made the free account yet? I don't know. I do want to remind everybody I'm a documentary filmmaker. They're all free. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture. The links down below to support me are there. The GoFundMe link as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the flip side. Love y'all.